Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Kwame Sha'Allah, Koholoyim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachachadash, and double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well and that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth. Just want to take the waters for the H.I.M and Akwaf that's all here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Awak. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. I thought this picture was pretty funny for this article, but there's somebody in the comment board, of course. It says, know your local gang member. Typical clothing, heavily armed, mark of affiliation, indication of criminal valor. Well organized and in large numbers, aggressive and extremely violent. Hey, that police, man. But I wanted to just touch on these curses being reversed on Esau. Here's this, Glenn Bubble Pfizer, 22, was fatally shot by cops after mistakenly attempting to enter a stranger's home instead of his friends after a night of bar hopping. Yes, because, typically you don't hear about the police gunning down no white boys, But this says New Jersey college athlete shot dead by cops after mistakenly trying to enter stranger's home during a night of drinking. New York Post, an unarmed New Jersey college student was fatally shot by cops. After mistakenly attempting to enter a stranger's home instead of his friends following the night. Glenn Bubble Pfizer, 22, was out celebrating a friend's birthday at a local bar. Yep, see, that, we tell y'all about these birthdays, man. All that old, you gotta worship somebody. That's a day of worship for that fucker. He decided to walk to his pal's house, but instead ended up at the wrong house after having a few drinks. Well, he must have had way more than a few drinks. You don't just pop up at the wrong damn house like that. It says he ended up at the wrong house after having a few drinks. He didn't know that. So he was knocking on the door saying, hey, let me in, thinking it was his friend's house. But it wasn't, his mother said. Just before 12:30 a.m., local cops rushed to respond to a 911 call of a possible attempted break-in at the residence where Pfizer attempted to enter. The couple inside the home had gotten startled and called police, which they should have. Cops found Pfizer in the near of the residence where an encounter ensued. Okay, well, what kind of encounter ensued? Right? Leading officers to fatally shoot him. So, he's probably, his white privilege, probably talking shit, whatever. It says 12:32. They probably had a tussle, man. He probably tussled with him and everything. Because these so-called white people, they give their people a chance. 12:32, he was on the phone with his friends. By 12:35, I believe he's already shot. Yeah, that sounded like some Jake shit to me. Let me get that Deuteronomy 30:7, man. Oh, man, bro. Them curses are starting to reverse on y'all Edomites, man. We've been under these curses for a long time. Deuteronomy 30:7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. See? So the curses that we've been under, the Lord is starting to put on you Edomites because we're the ones that's getting gunned down by the police. We're the ones that's being pulled over for no damn reason, getting fired for no reason, getting, all these things that's happening to these Edomites these days. That shit has always happened to us. Now, they're on TikTok fussing, crying. And no one's showing you mercy because you've never shown any mercy. Let's get a little bit more. Again, I just seen this. I thought it to be funny, man. It says he was a wonderful young man, of course. Yeah, of course he was. Because he was, look at him. Of course he's a lovely young man. He's got the blonde hair. He had recently transferred to the school and was slated to play on their baseball team. When off the field, college students was a lovable goofball. He was a lovable goofball. His heartbroken mother told the news. He would walk in the back door and say his favorite thing. Hey, Mom, your favorite kid is home. He was just happy-go-lucky. Yeah, that's you Edomites. You all are. But them days is changing. Didn't have a care in the world. Yep. That's probably the reason why, a struggle ensued in the backyard. Look at this dude right here. Look at the dude with the look at the dude with the boots and the jeans on. If that ain't a goddamn Edomite. Look at this dude here. Look at the boots, bro. Look at the nigga. What kind of shorts you got on, bro? Why would you come out of the house looking like that, bro? That's some Edomite shit for real. Let's go back. It's not yet clear why officers opened fire at fire. The way he probably was, if he was drunk, he probably, because generally, you know what I'm saying. It's nighttime. Of course, they're gonna be back there with the flashlights. If he had just put his hands up and say, officers, whatever, I'm sure they was giving them commands. They don't just come up on you and they basically come up on you, give you commands, show me your hands, put your hands up, but whatever. You just comply with the commands. The scripture says to agree with your adversary quickly. This dude ain't just get shot for nothing, man. He probably was tussling with him. I don't even doubt it. Because Esau, like I said, they got that mindset that this is their world. And that, how dare you, motherfucker, who do you think you're talking to? You know what my mom and dad is? That kind of shit. Anyway, the deadly shooting was caught on surveillance cameras in the backyard of the property, so they'll see. And the footage is part of the investigation. To see someone that has so much potential, see that there's so much potential, because he was so excited about going back to school, lose their life, it hurts, a family friend Kia told the Fox News. He was an amazing soul. Young man never got in any trouble. Yeah, right. What happened could it have been de-escalated? We don't know. But we want to figure that out. Well, we gonna see. Yeah, because look, these officers, you're in the dark. It's 12:30 at night. People are talking about a break-in. They're automatically assuming that you're armed. So the only thing that you can do, you already are in harm's way, so to speak, in a sense. The scripture says to stay away from the man that had the power to kill. But in that situation, for him, being a so-called white man, all he had to do was just, he had to have done something. They wouldn't have just shot this guy. I'm pretty sure they was probably all so-called white neighborhood. I'm sure when they flashed them goddamn flashlights on him, they seen that he was an Edomite. And they generally don't shoot these Edomites like that, man. Unless he was just, they talking about a few drinks. No, this dude had to have been blowed, man. He had to have been drunk as fuck to not know that, okay, you're not at the right house. You don't know where your pals really live. Because obviously you think you at the right house if you trying to let yourself in. Thinking that you entering in a party. And if you thinking that you're going from one party to the next party, the lights is fucking off, or you don't hear no music, they don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, what you think, what Edomites do, play pranks and shit. He probably could have thought, they in there fucking around there. Come on, let me in, dudes. Stop fucking around. In there with the lights off and shit. You know what I'm saying? He could have thought some shit like that. But still, you so damn drunk that you don't know that you at the wrong address. He had to have been drunk. If he done been to the house multiple times, it's not saying like, okay, this was his first time going there. He obviously knew about his pal's house. They didn't say of whether or not, okay, he was a few houses over, a few houses off, or he was on the wrong block. Some of them neighborhoods, they got them cribs, all them bitches look the same. That's Esau. They do shit like that. That one of them horseshoe communities, you go and you ride in, and you got to make that big ass circle like that horseshoe and drive your ass back out because there's no way out. It's just a one way. Them kind of neighborhoods that they build. Who knows? Anyway, I just found this to just be, and then of course, you go into the comments. They got Jake right here. Look at this picture right here. Look at this. See, this is Esau. It's Esau right here. Which one is the truth? See, but it's one of your Edomites that's laid in the ground. He's back in the spirit world. But you hating on Jake. You hating on Jake. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That's why we don't feel sorry for you motherfuckers, man. Somebody says, "Where's Al Sharpton?" Oh wait, my bad. Yeah. See, they don't like stuff like that because see, this is how they do. When this side of them curses is reversing on them because the same shit that they would normally do to so-called black people in the comment boards, Jake been cutting Esau ass up in these comment boards as of late, because Esau is being revealed for being the wicked man, these heinous crimes. Because all the time, all over these years, all you would see is Jake shit on the news. Jake face on the news. Jake fake face on the news. But in the meanwhile, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, he's committing all the worst crimes. But you never used to see him in the news. And then if you hear about a story, a lot of the times it'll be a fucked up story, man, and you won't even see no picture. Like, well, okay, well, where the picture of the guy at? Where the picture of the woman at? Then you got to search their damn name in Google. Then next thing you know, you see it's one of them, because they don't like putting their faces in these stories, because they don't want to be seen as being the wicked that the Bible speaks of, man. See? It says, notice, no shouts. If we want justice, no looting, rioting, nothing. Yeah, because it's one of them so-called white boys. You know, see? This is the type of shit that they be thinking. See? Yep, Popo so quick to shoot. Why didn't his friends look out for him, knowing he was inebriated? Yeah. Somebody says, how tragic. Somebody said, why? Because, see, people don't care. See, you Edomites, and it's going to get even worse. You're not receiving mercy. That cute little, kitty glove shit that y'all used to be on, that shit is over with. People not looking at y'all like that no more, man. It's a tough day now. See? So somebody says, no streets burning, no Al Sharpton. Where's, well, yeah. WLM. Yeah, I guess they white lives matter, yeah. Yeah. See? You're being mocked. Yeah, because he went from the front of the house to the back. You can't blame the people for calling the police. They don't know what the fuck going on. It says somebody says, wow, someone who was really in college and attending, unlike others we know who still lie and never comply. See that? Like Ashley Babbitt. Somebody says, would that be the human race? See, this is the bullshit. Someone that actually went to college and never comply. Obviously, he didn't comply. He couldn't have. Somebody said it's a fact that more unarmed white men are shot by police in the United States than unarmed black men. I believe that. That could be true. But you know what? It's never on TV or never in the news, because they don't want to show you actually doing those fucking crimes just before you get shot. Yeah, you're doing a whole bunch of crimes. You're doing the most of the crimes. You're right. I'm with this here. It says, but we can't ruin the narrative. We need to march for justice. Stop shooting our white children. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's a bunch of them getting killed, and they not throwing it in the news like that. It says no weapon found on him, so get a good lawyer. See, but there's no. Jake been getting shot with his hands up. Jake been getting shot with fucking plate water guns. You can clearly see that's water guns. Colorful shit. Jake getting shot reaching for his motherfucking ID. That's these Edomites. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep this long, man. Hey, it is what it is. Somebody says, oh my God, a cop shot a white person. Wow. See, but this is you being mocked. The Lord said he's going to laugh at your calamity, man. Well, that's particularly talking about Jake. Because Jake don't want to fucking listen, man. It says the mass media is part of the problem. Imagine if this kid were black. I bet my life the title of the article would have stated that the police officer fatally shot an unarmed black college student. Yeah. See, but this is what I'm saying. Anyway. See? Somebody says, what a terrible tragedy. The officer should have not fired his weapon. He was not a threat. How do you know? You don't know what happened. We will see the body footage. I'm pretty sure he was probably trying to tussle with them men. He had to be a rookie or retrain these officers. I am so sorry for your loss. Sending prayers for your family. Yes. This dude went from the front to the back of you in the people's backyard now. A lot of people had fences, man. You ain't just, it's you. Either way, you at the back door. You trying to let yourself in. He's probably banging on the fucking door. He lucky that the homeowners didn't gun his ass down. Anyway, I'm gonna end out there, man. I didn't want to keep it long. Hey, them curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28 is really about to overtake all you nations, but mainly you so-called white people, the ones that put their hands on this Bible and shouldn't have, because you don't keep nothing that's in the Bible. That's Psalms 50 and 16. It talks about how what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, since thou hatest instructions and castest my words behind thee. And that's what you so-called white people do. You got your hands on the Bible. You act as if you're this religious country, you're this Christian country, you're this righteous country, and nothing can be further from the truth. Everywhere that you are, you stole in the name of sweet white baby Jesus with the Bible in your hand. Whitewashing images and whitewashing histories and taking people's shit. So we don't feel sorry for nothing like that. And a lot more of this is going to happen. You have no idea the things that's about to happen to good old America. So with that, shalom.